roll us a good 30 seconds of ours.
Mine is better over there.
I'm watching across the street. I'm watching the car.
These guys, these are new ones.
That's 4 to 1.
That's for what unit you trying for?
100.
That's a full sign.
Okay, good.
How many people are you guys?
Tell me where you want me, Daryl. You want me on this side? Hello, 1, 2.
This is all right. I mean, if I
You look very nice.
does operate nationwide, and Chaffee up until now had been restricted to a Midwest region for sponsorship procurement. And with the closing of Eglin and McCoy and that this week Indiantown Gap, we're in the process now of working with a larger group of resettlement directors. Before we had about 20 or 30 to work with, and now I've got up to 100. And although we haven't refined the process completely yet, the addition of the West Coast Diocese has been a tremendous assistance to us. And just this week alone, I'm scheduling out, hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, as many as 200 to 800 people depending upon the final word from the resettlement directors on the West Coast.
So the numbers have been picking up.
Yes, we had a low point when all the priorities were hitting the various camps. McCoy was trying to close out, and we were trying to sponsor as many people out of there to preclude them from having to come here. The same with Indiantown Gap. And then Miami was a very critical point for the task force to try to take care of the tent city people. And our organization, which is handling as much as 60 to 70% of the whole Cuban program, tried to focus in on these special areas. So Chaffee was sort of put on the back burner, and this week things have really been hopping out here, and hopefully we can keep the momentum on this program going.
What's the daily average?
Resettled by the end of the year, but at this moment it's an optimistic goal, really, to think that the whole program could be taken care of by the end of this year. We've got lots of problems down the road. What we're trying to do now is focus on those people who present a very good profile, and we know as much about them as we feel we have to know, and we get a clear commitment from the resettlement people that they can take care of it.
What are the problems down the road?
Well, the problems down the road could be that some of the people here come from a background where they're going to need some special attention, and the type of special attention has to be defined, and until we get the recommendation from our counselors, and that's where my program is really right now developed. And that assessment may ask for a very sophisticated mechanism to attend to the problem. If the person, for supposedly a very serene attitude, but I feel right at the moment, and you can judge for yourself across the street here, even the McCoy people I think now are settling down. I think they came from an environment where they had lost hope. And I think they came from a camp where the problems were not being resolved, where they were literally very concerned and a little bit frustrated. The type of programs that we have here in the interim to take care of the concerns of these people, I think they understand now that they can trust us and work with us. And I'm very, very... That's the key part, and this has been the real delicate role we've had to judge, is to make sure that the movement is across the board. If only one camp personnel were to see people moving, then there would obviously be a jealousy factor creep up. And we've worked very hard to make sure that we integrate people from all the camps into an out-processing program.
What are you finding most of the Cubans' attitudes are?
Right now, I think they're still a little bit curious. They're very intrigued with their new setting. A lot of them haven't had a chance, as you can see, to even go through the registration process yet, because you just cannot process people except on a given number a day. It could be that a lot of the people here are just learning to develop a trust that the agencies know what they're about, and if they give us the time to work it out, we'll do the best we can for them.
Do the ones from Eglin, Chaffee, Eglin and McCoy, do they face a different type of out-processing?
No. We're integrating everybody into the same procedures, and I think now they begin to understand that it's going to be a fair process.
Did you work at all with the...
I think a refugee is a refugee. And basically, the people I see, when we get down to a confidential one-on-one interview, the Cubans are as much concerned about their own lives as the Vietnamese were. The cultural setting, I think, is very different. I'm not a real expert in the Latin American Hispanic affairs, but it's becoming apparent that the Cubans are a very dominant group in the Latin American cultural affairs. And they express this. They're very verbal. They're a very expressive group. They're upfront with their feelings. I don't consider this negative. I consider it a little bit. We have to get used to it. They're settling down there. They literally do not understand our culture and some of the processes that they're going through. And as a result of this, they're finding out the hard way that this is, and sometimes causes great concern to the American people. I think it's a program that we could deal with. I think it's something that, with cultural orientation, the people here are learning the ground rules, and some of the people who went out early in the program didn't have a chance to do so. So sure, there's been some negative qualities to this program, and there will continue to be so. We frankly do not have the high level of education among the Cubans here that, generally speaking, we had with the Indo-Chinese. But people must remember that, contrary to the popular belief, the Indochina refugee program did not operate in an environment of positive feelings. The Vietnamese, as will the Cubans, proved themselves in society. And we have to give the Cubans a chance, and I think we have to help them along the way. These people are desperately looking for some type of guidance. And maybe we have to help them learn how to seek that guidance. Or a halfway house must be able to stay with that individual until they become self-sufficient. That enter into the problem area, and they have had to approve the sponsor before Las Vegas.
I'm gonna have to shoot some.
Y'all have to sit here all day.